Greetings and salutations. So on my Windows desktop, I am launching my Ubuntu instance of Windows subsystem for Linux, as well as a command line. In the command line, I'm going over to my Python backdoor directory where I have a little file called backdoor.py. It's about 40 lines of code. I opened it with Microsoft Code. In Linux, I check my IP address and I make sure that that's what I have in my code for building the socket. As you can see, it's right at 43 lines of code, 44. So, having seen that, we'll go ahead and run it real quick. Over here on the Linux side, we're running netcat and listening on port 8000, which is what the backdoor is written to write on. It actually tries port 21, 22, 81, 443, and 8000. If it doesn't work, it tries again. Just keeps trying until it gets a connection. I let it go by 8000 purposely the first time here, then I go ahead and hit carriage return, so now netcat is listening as it goes through the loop. When we come back to 8000, it will connect. Woohoo, we're connected. Who am I? I'm Dustin. I can execute dir. Okay, Control C to get out of that, Control C to stop that, close code. So now what I'm going to do, after I clear the window over here, I'm going to create a Python virtual environment because I need a place to stash pyinstaller. So we create the virtual environment. It's going to take a moment. At this point in scripts, I will see activate.bat, so I create or activate the virtual environment. Now I do pip install pyinstall. Once this completes, there will be an executable pyinstaller.exe in the scripts folder. So we can execute it from there with the --one file and --no console option, and then we point it to backdoor.py, the 44 lines of code that we were looking at. When it gets finished, which doesn't take particularly long, there will be a backdoor.exe in the dist folder. So we'll execute that. Notice Control comes back to my command line. It's executing in the background because of that no console option. And now when I fire up netcat over here, eventually it will show connected. I can go ahead and exit from this window because it doesn't matter. Boom, we're connected. Take a look. Sure enough. All right, so let's get out of that. Let's open a command prompt running as administrator. Okay, and then we'll go over to the path in Python backdoor directory into dist, and we will execute. Oh, before we do, I need to go to Task Manager and get rid of the one that's currently running. There will see two instances there. If I'd done the bottom one first, they both would have passed off. Okay, so now we'll run the executable. It's backgrounded. Let's fire up netcat again. Excuse me. We're connected. Cool. Want to get tricky? I got you. We're going to put that on the end of the C:\/ Windows System 32 drivers etc hosts file. I hit carriage return. I don't get any indication that anything happened. I'm going to launch Notepad++ as administrator. You can see it there at the end. This looks like I faked it though, because I had previously opened this file in Notepad, so when I fired up Notepad, it just wanted to grab it. So let's do this. Let's get rid of I got you. Let's save the file, verify that it is absolutely not in there, right? It's not. All right. So let's go over here and do echo I got you again. And we'll toss that into the same file. Hey, it already noticed. Sure enough, I did indeed get you. So, with an administrative window and running this back door, I can do anything to this Windows machine as an administrator, which, notice all these instances of Bitdefender running right below it. Didn't do a darn thing. In fact, I'll show you Bitdefender and Malwarebytes examining the file here in just a moment. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the folder that has that executable we created. First, I'm going to tell it, scan this with Bitdefender. Bitdefender says, hey, bro, your system's clean. All right. Well, let me take a look with Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes is going to say, yo, dude, totally tubular. We should go hit the waves. You got no problems. So, yeah, let's talk about that for a moment. Please do not copy any of this code that you've seen visually, type it, and then submit it to VirusTotal or any place like that. This is code from SANS 573 by Mark Baggett. It's very useful for us to learn with, and if somebody chooches it up by submitting that, we're going to have more trouble actually running this. We'll have to tighten things up and disable antivirus to accomplish learning, which would be bad. Anyway, as you can see, though, over-reliance on either of those products is probably a bad idea.